Hey everybody, we're talking about the eBay, PayPal, thieves and Satanists today. And so let's get going. This is a typical little tactic these Satanist pigs like to do. This is basically when you log into your account, if you don't give them things like your tax ID number and that kind of crap, they start harassing you. It says, we recently reviewed your account. Ooh, we need more information. Please about your business to allow us to provide uninterrupted service. Well, you're not going to get it. What is the problem? Until this issue is resolved, you'll be able to log into your PayPal account, but you might not be able to add money to it or use some of your account features. Well, let's see what it's all about here. And this is where it says, what I can't do, you can do everything, but add money. Okay, well, actually, you can get money into your account. You send a gift. There's a variety of ways you can do it, but you can't do it through your bank account. And what they're wanting is a photo ID, a proof of address, and a proof of social security number. So they're wanting all sorts of personal information. I am guessing, well, it's coming from the Homeland Security pigs, and under the so-called War on Terror and the UN. That's exactly where all of this is coming from. It's the Homeland Security pigs, and I would love to see some of these pigs and tell them what I think. Anyways, I do not have a social security number. I have never had a social security number. A social security number is a number for a Satanic trust. I was in the Supreme Court. I sued the IRS thieves, and I went and submitted an affidavit to the Supreme Court, and I said, and it said, I don't have a social security number. I've never had a social security number. No problem. No living soul has one. These Satanist pigs want to compel you into getting one. That's exactly what these Satanist pigs want to do. Every taxpayer is a Satanic trust and having sufficient interest in preventing the abuse of the trust to be recognized in the field of this court's prerogative jurisdiction. Okay, so a social security number is a number for a Satanic trust. And it's none of their business where I live. They have a postal address where they can effect service if necessary. Sue me. Go ahead, pigs. Sue me. And that's all they need. Do they have evidence that I'm involved in some criminal activity? They don't need evidence. They're just trumping up garbage under their Homeland Security pigs. They've tried and convicted me of criminal activity. Come on. Make my day. You want to see some, come on, meet me. Then you'll see some criminal activity, pigs. These Satanist pigs. This is all coming from the UN pigs and the so-called Department of Homeland Security in their fraudulent war on terror, which is really a war on me and you. That's exactly what it is. These Satanist pigs. After speaking with one of their representatives, these restrictions were lifted because I've had this account since 2001. The next day, the restrictions were back. My opinion is, and has long been, that the mayor and alderman of a city corporation or the president and directors of a bank or the president and directors of a railroad company and of other similar corporations are the true parties that are sued as trustees and representatives of the constantly changing stockholders. A corporation, therefore, being not a natural person but a mere creature of the mind, invisible and intangible, cannot be a citizen of a state or of the United States and cannot fall within the terms of the power of the above-mentioned article, and therefore neither plead nor be impleaded in the courts of the United States. That's U.S. Supreme Court. So these Satanist pigs in eBay, PayPal is owned by eBay. And this is taken from Wikipedia that shows that it's one of their holdings. This is the board of directors, okay? These people are the ones that are responsible. These people, I'm coming after you, pigs. I'm coming after you. This is investor relations off of their website. Fred D. Anderson, the pig. Anthony D. Bates, the pig. Bonnie S. Hammer, the pig. Pierre M. Omidyar, whatever that is, the pig. Robert H. Swan, the pig, Perium Trakinta, the pig, Edward W. Barnholt, the pig, Logan D. Green, the pig, Kathleen C. Middick, the pig, Paul S. Pressler, the pig, Thomas J. Tierney, the pig, and Devin N. Whiting, the pig. And this is their address. You know, according to what Scallion says and the remote viewers, they're going to wind up at the bottom of the Pacific. So I might not get my day to have my way with these pigs, but they know it's coming. Okay, and I'm looking forward to seeing woohoo go to the bottom of the Pacific where these pigs belong. This is found in 26 USC 6109, okay, as supplying of identifying numbers when required by regulations prescribed by the Secretary, inclusion in returns, furnishing number to other persons, furnishing number of another person. Any person required under the authority of this title to make a return statement or other document with respect to another person shall request. That doesn't mean shut the damn account down. That doesn't mean do anything but request. You've requested, pigs. And shall include in any such return statement or other document such identifying number. For purposes of paragraph 1, 2, and 3, the identifying number of the individual or his estate shall be the individual's Social Security account number. This is taken from the Code of Federal Regulations. And this is actually, if you notice here, this is, go back to 26 USC 6109. Well, in the regulations, they just add a 301 in front of it. And so this is the regulations that are associated with that statute, or that so-called statute. It's color of law. But it says if a person making the return or statement or other document does not know the taxpayer identifying number of the other person, such person must request the other number. When the person making the return statement or other document does not know the number and has complied with the request provision, such person must sign an affidavit on the transmittal document forwarding such returns. Okay, all of these brain dead idiots need to do is when they want to put down my number, all they do is put down requested, and their return is signed under penalty of perjury. That satisfies their affidavit requirements. These Satanist pigs would rather harass people. That's what it comes down to. Harass people and deny people due process and convict them of criminal activity when they don't have a shred of evidence of anything. Oh, yeah, here it is up close. If a person making the return statement or other document does not know the taxpayer identification number of the other person, when the person making the return statement or other document does not know the number of other person has applied with the request provision of this paragraph, such person must sign an affidavit on the transmittal document forwarding such return statement or other documents to the IRS. So the brain-dead idiots, all they have to do is insert requested where they're supposed to put the number down. If they have to put the number down, they put requested, and that's all. And they put sign it under penalty of perjury, and it's done. But they don't want to. They want to harass people. They want to assault people. They want to kidnap people. They want to falsely imprison people. They want to gain extortion. They want the New World Order crowd, the pigs in the Homeland Security, coming to people's houses in the middle of the night so they can haul them away in black bags. That's exactly what these pigs want to do. This is the text. If the person making the return statement or other document does not know the taxpayer identifying number of the other person, and such other person must request the other person's number. When the person making the return statement or other document does not know the number of the other person and has complied with the request position of this paragraph, such person must sign an affidavit on the transmittal document. That's all they have to do. But that's too much. That takes too much brains for these Satanist pigs. They intend to assault people with their codes. They intend to violate your rights under the color of their so-called laws. That's exactly what it is. This is Title 18, United States Code, Section 242. Whoever, under color of any law, statute, ordinance, regulation, or custom, willfully subjects any inhabitant of any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured or protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States shall be fined or under this title or imprisoned not more than 1 year. Whoa, boy, that is really severe. These Congress whores don't want them to get punished too bad for it, that's for sure. Anyways, and this is 241. Two or more persons conspire. Okay, so this is conspiracy to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district in the free exercise or enjoyment of any right or privilege secured to him by the Constitution and laws of the United States, or because he has some exercise the same. Two or more persons go in disguise on the highways and the premises of another with the intent to prevent or hinder his free exercise or enjoyment so secured, they shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years. Or if death results from the acts committed in violation of this section, or such acts include kidnapping or an attempt to kidnap, aggravated sexual abuse or attempt to commit aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to kill, they shall be fined under this title or imprisoned for any term of years or for life or both, or may be sentenced to death. Okay, these Satanists, they're not interested in doing the right thing. They should be put to death. That's what they should be done. Okay, I don't care what this fictitious color law statute says. The common law says they should be put to death. That's what these DC Satanists want to do. The first thing they want to do is get rid of common law. That's too nasty. There's no judicial immunity under common law. We can't be hanging judges and that kind of stuff. And these Satanist pigs in California should be put to death. These Satanists are assaulting me with their fictitious color of law regulations, and it's ex post facto law, and it's harassment, and it's all coming from the United Nations under the guise of their fraudulent, fictitious so-called war on terror that they have created as a mechanism for slavery. It's a war on me and you, people. It's about time we woke up to what's going on. They intend to assault me with their fictitious color of law regulations. They intend to deny my right to pursue happiness by getting compensation for my labor. All of these regulations are being created by the Department of Homeland Security Satanist pigs, which is the UN. It's exactly where it's coming from. The United States has not had a treasury since 1921. Look it up, people. 41 Stat, Chapter 214. United States Department of the Treasury is now the International Monetary Fund. Look it up, people. And the International Monetary Fund is a subsidiary of the World Bank. And this is a FOIA request I did to these Satanist pigs. And look at that. It says Department of Homeland Security is a subsidiary of the Secret Service. It's exactly what that says. The Department of Homeland Security and all its subsidiaries, which includes the TSA, FEMA, Customs, Immigration, etc., is a subsidiary of the Secret Service. The Secret Service is a subsidiary of the Treasury Department. The Treasury Department is a subsidiary of the IMF. The IRS is an agency of the IMF. Look it up. This is a website called oneevil.org. This is talking about the Secret Service. The Secret Service was set up originally as the Knights of Cetus Sacrorum, which is the Knights of the Holy See. And it was set up by a Jesuit for the Nazis, okay? So the SS was originally the Nazis, and now it's called the Secret Service. And it's all coming from the Vatican and these Satanist Jesuits. That's where it's coming from. That's a bigger picture. This is the SS is in America. It's called the Secret Service, and it owns the so-called Department of Homeland Security. That's what these Satanists are doing. Operation Paperclip brought key Nazis into America. Modern neocons are the successors of these Nazis. Paul Craig Roberts explains how Ronald Reagan prosecuted many of these neocons, and then George Bush Sr., the pig, pardoned them, and they've been involved in everything that has gone on since. Tupper Saucy, in his book, Rulers of Evil, says that the Jesuits have been involved in America from colonial days and responsible for the War of Independence. This is Tupper Saucy's book, Rulers of Evil. It's a very good read. I highly recommend it. I've got it. Tupper Saucy is correct. Watch my video, the United States is a crown colony. Watch my video, the British Crown is the Vatican. The United Nations, through the International Monetary Fund, issues Social Security numbers. The Department of the Treasury issues the SS5, not the Social Security Administration. The new SS5 forms do not state who or what publishes them. They don't want anybody finding out what's going on. These people are Satanists. The earlier SS5 forms state that they were Department of the Treasury forms. All Social Security checks come directly from the IMF and the UN, and it says it on the front. It says Department of the Treasury. Isn't it amazing how all of these terror alerts start coming out when there are DHS funding bills before Congress? Some people are saying that the UN is going to invade. It has already happened, sheeple. They screen out intelligent people in the hiring process for their Leos. There's a case called Jordan versus City of New London, which went to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit. Robert Jordan had a master's degree and scored too high in their test. He was too intelligent. They don't want anybody intelligent. They want murderers. That's exactly what they want. They want hired thugs. You see it every night on television. I know several people who are not hired for these kinds of positions because they scored too high in their test. They want murderers. This is the ABC News Internet article that talks about it. A man whose bid to become a police officer was rejected after he scored too high on an intelligence test has lost an appeal in his federal lawsuit against the city. And Mark Passio is a former Satanist priest. He's got some natural law videos. He talks about the pillars of Satanism. One of the pillars is moral relativism. There's no absolute right or wrong. Truth is relative. We just make up what's right or wrong. What's right or wrong is what we decide today, and tomorrow it'll be something else. 2/3 of the people believe in moral relativism. I think Mark is being generous. I think it should be more like about 90%. That's moral relativism is a modern day court case. That's all these Satanists in the courts, these whores, these Baal priests in the courts. That's exactly what's going on. Order followers, responsible for all of the atrocities in history. That's these order followers, these Leos, these low intelligence Satanists that these law enforcement organizations want to hire these days because they want murderers. Order followers are responsible for all the atrocities of history. This is one of the pillars of Satanism. They just follow orders without thinking about whether it's a lawful order or not. They're willing slaves. This is Mark Passio's YouTube channel. I highly recommend it. The guy is brilliant. He's very articulate, and he explains it very well. Anyone who is wearing a military uniform is an agent of the Vatican. This is Article 10 of the Concordat of 1933 that the Hitler signed with the Vatican. The wearing of clerical dress or a religious habit on the part of layfolk is liable to the same penalty on the part of the state as the misuse of a military uniform. Almost all so-called governments are bankrupt and owned and operated by the Vatican. This is and it's interesting to note that the United States has approved or bought onto the Article 10, or actually it's the Concordat of 1933, and so is Canada, as well as they've all bought onto the Lateran Pact too, and most countries in Europe. Almost at common law, sheriff would have a star only. At common law, there is no uniform. The World War II war crimes tribunals, all the Nazis claimed they were just following orders. Gee, that sounds like they were Satanists. They're order followers. They either suffered death by hanging or spent the rest of their life in jail, and some of them are still hunted to this day. The Vietnam War, the My Lai massacre, they were convicted of murder. Today, order followers are everywhere. You see it every night on national TV. They're murdering somebody. These eBay, PayPal Satanists are order follower Satanists. Their regulations are ex post facto law. Their regulations are color of law. I've had this account since 2001. This is criminal harassment. Ex post facto law is a law that impermissibly applies retroactively, especially in a way that negatively affects a person's rights. And that's Black's Law Dictionary, 8th edition. Harassment is conduct or action, usually repeated or persistent, that being directed at a specific person, annoys, alarms, or causes a substantial emotion of distress in that person and serves no legitimate purpose. Black's Law Dictionary, 8th edition. This is the Banker's Manifesto from 1934. February 1934, in the New American Capital must protect itself in every way through combination and through debt legislation. Combination, gee, that sounds like conspiracy. Debts must be collected and loans and mortgages foreclosed as soon as possible. When through a process of law the common people have lost their homes, they'll become more tractable and more easily governed by the strong arm of the bankster thieves applied by the central power of the wealth under control of leading financiers. People without homes will not quarrel with their leaders. Yeah, bag people and homeless people. That's true. That's what happens. This has been planned. This is well known among our principal men now engaged in forming an imperialism of capital to govern the world. By dividing the people, we can get them to expend their energies in fighting over questions of no importance to us, except as teachers of the common herd. Well, all you herd out there, now you've found out. Thus, by discreet action, we can secure for ourselves what has been generally planned and successfully accomplished. These eBay, PayPal Satanists, Benjamin Franklin said, they that give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. When injustice becomes law, then resistance becomes duty. Necessity is the plea for every infringement of human freedom. It is the argument of tyrants. It is the creed of slaves. For it is a truth that with the experience of ages has attested that the people are always most in danger when the means of injuring their rights are in the possession of those of whom they entertain the least suspicion. I prefer dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. The end justifies the means is satanic. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, but darkness for light and light for darkness. This is taken from the Avalon Project, the Definitive Treaty of Peace of 1783. Let's see if we can get in closer. Maybe not. The important thing I want to point out here is that George III is signing this by the grace of God, King of Great Britain, France, Ireland. So he's Britain and France. Arch-Treasurer and Prince-Elector of the Holy Roman Empire and of the United States of America. So, yeah, right. Affirm in Article 7, affirm of perpetual peace. Bullshit. They do this treaty of peace so they can regroup and continue their war. King George the Tyrant was king of France and England. France financed both sides of the War of Independence. United States owed France 18 million livres from the war. He's also Arch-Treasurer and Prince-Elector of the Holy Roman Empire and the United States of America. The treaty was authorized as an agent of the Vatican. Queen Elizabeth is now the Arch-Treasurer and Prince-Elector of the Holy Roman Empire and the United States of America. All these judicial whores, these bail priests, and these so-called courts are taking orders from that bitch. The Vatican seized the crown when they couldn't pay their debts to with the concessions to the Pope of 1213 and the subsequent Magna Carta when the people rebelled. See the first United States as a crown colony video. See the martial law's here video. Martial law always comes from Roman law and the Vatican. The Vatican decides who will be president. The eBay, PayPal thieves are agents of the United Nations. Every corporation, for all its purposes, is an agent of Her Majesty and Right of Canada. Okay, this is found in the Government Corporation Operation Act of Canada. Well, think about it, people. If it's that way in Canada, you don't think maybe that's that way in the U.S.? And the U.S. is they're taking instructions from the bitch, and so it's still a corporation is an agent of the bitch. They have violated their corporate charter. I will not rest until their criminal corporation is seized and liquidated and their corporate officers are put to death for breach of trust. That's what I want to see. Queen Elizabeth the bitch is the arch-treasurer and Prince Elector of the Holy Roman Empire in the United States of America. These Vatican Satanists use their treaty to regroup when they're losing, so they can continue their satanic warfare after the people have gone back to sleep. There'll be no treaties with these Satanists next time. You know, if you think about it, the book of Revelations is a book, or the whole book, the Bible, is a book that describes man's struggle with Satanism, okay? In the very beginning in Genesis, Eve is tempted by Satan. Okay, and at the very end, Satan is bound for 1,000 years, okay? So that's where I'm going to be. We're going to be driving these Satanists. We're going to exterminate them off the face of this planet, okay? And they're going to be pushing up roses. That's what they're going to be doing. I should say daisies. Well, I'm not going to rest until they're pushing up daisies. There is no law that says that anybody has to get a Social Security number. The eBay and PayPal Satanists are compelling a Social Security number on me. These eBay, PayPal Satanists are violating my right to pursue happiness by getting compensation for my labor under the color of their so-called laws, which is actually a regulation promulgated by the United Nations Satanist handlers. I've been to the U.S. Supreme Court 4 times, and these eBay, PayPal Satanists obviously intend to be next. These eBay thieves have refused to provide disclosure and overbilling because of that lack of disclosure. These eBay thieves block your ability to insert a listing if you do not allow them to automatically deduct their listing fees from your PayPal account. These same eBay thieves say they're not responsible for overdraft charges to your bank account. These same eBay thieves charge me a fee, close a store, an eBay store, after they were blocking my ability to make listings. These eBay thieves are thieves. Because of a dispute I have with these eBay thieves, PayPal has refused to cover something that PayPal collected a fee to cover. PayPal charges a fee to complete a transaction, and part of that fee is for insurance, cover eBay customers. A few years ago, I bought some silver coins on eBay, and the seller did not deliver it, and PayPal reimbursed part of that loss. Actually, it was half. It was a lousy reimbursement, but at least it was better than nothing. And now they reimburse all of it. And I recently sold something to an overseas customer, and the customer claims not to have received it, and they're not covering anything. It's because of this dispute I have with their eBay handlers, and that's exactly what's going on. So not only are they not satisfied, they're assaulting me with their codes. They're in conspiracy with these eBay handlers to steal my property. That's exactly what it is. It behooves every man who values liberty of conscience for himself to resist invasions of it in case of others, or their case may, by change of circumstances, become his own. If you love wealth better than liberty, the tranquility of servitude better than the animating contest of freedom, go home from us in peace. We ask not your counsel or arms. Crouch down and lick the hands which feed you. May your chains set lightly upon you, and may our posterity forget that you are ever our countrymen. When shall it be said in any country of the world, my poor are happy, neither ignorance or distress is found among them. My jails are empty of prisoners, my streets of beggars, the aged are not in want, the tax is not oppressive. The rational world is my friend, because I am a friend of its happiness. When these things can be said, then may that country boast of its constitution and government. Well, we have nothing to boast here. A gang of thieves and criminals have seized the government, and we the people are asleep at the wheel, and the jails are full, and there's bag people everywhere, and taxes are oppressive, and the aged, the old people are definitely in poverty, and that's all part of the plan. That's the bitch that this is going on, and the Vatican. But if the watchmen see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hands. This is my effort to make sure that that my blood is, that I am blameless on Judgment Day. And either you're part of the problem or you're part of the solution. You are now a watchman. I hope that everybody is blameless, but I guess we'll see. You're now a watchman. Circulate this video far and wide. Upcoming videos, do-it-yourself habeas corpus, do-it-yourself estoppel certificates, and do-it-yourself how to disappear. Okay? First of all, one of the ways you disappear is you don't give them a social security number, and you don't give them a physical address, and I don't care what they say. And that's probably the number one thing in how to disappear. But we'll talk about that in that video. Other videos, Bankster Thieves 1, 2, and 3, Churchianity Series, Bankrupt Corporate So-Called Governments, Bar Members 1 and 2, Unidroit, Martial Laws Here, Do-It-Yourself Kangaroo Courts, Do-It-Yourself Traffic Stops, all courts are ecclesiastical courts, Do-It-Yourself Toll Roads, and Jurisdiction. Copies of these documents can be found in my private group at Yahoo called Administrating-Your-Public-Servants. I have YouTube videos that are videos of private information shares that show these and other court citations that are available for a donation. Donations to support this work are appreciated. I prefer gold or silver coin, but as an extremely less desirable alternative, I can accept IOUs, Federal Reserve notes, PayPal gifts, checks, money orders. Send me an email for particulars. Paragraph 3 there is for all your Satanist revenue officers operating in your private capacity under the Federal Tax Lien Act of 1966, because you can take your, if you think that I am accepting privileges or benefits, you can take your privileges and your benefits of your IOUs and put them up your rectal orifice. I prefer gold or silver coin. If you find this useful, then you need to pay it forward. If you don't know what pay it forward means, then watch the video. Watch the movie. You can rent it at any movie and video store. My blog is sovereigntyinternational.wordpress.com. My website is sovereigntyinternational.fyi. My email address is engineerwin@yahoo. My YouTube profile is Sovereign Living, all lowercase. My Facebook page is community page, Sovereignty International. I've got a private group called Sovereignty International. I've also got a private group at Yahoo and Google. Both of them are called Administrating-Your-Public-Servants. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I hope you got something out of it. And do alternatives. There's lots of alternatives to the eBay pigs and the PayPal pigs. There's lots of alternatives. Bitcoin is one. Amazon.com is another one. Amazon has a great website. Prices are very competitive with eBay, and so use the alternatives. Okay, and thanks for watching, and have a great day.